Welcome to the Earth+Flax studio. We've got a lot to catch you up on, and we're mostly going to be focusing on our roofing system and our standing seam metal roof. We had a bit of rainy weather, so we had a slight delay on getting our roof installed, but here it is with a nice coating of pollen on it, and we were not able to get a lot of content of that metal roof being installed out of respect for our Amish roofers, but we will have some great before and after, so you can kind of see, bam, that end result. I want to walk you through that roofing system as a reminder. Remember, our first layer is the exposed red oak tongue and groove. On top of that, we've got our linseed oil paint treated air barrier. From there, we have our bays for the majority of our insulation, which is the Rockwool batts. From there, we have 1/2-inch plywood, conventional tar paper, and then our 2 inches of Rockwool Comfortbatt with our 2-inch furring strips for our air gap. And then on top of that, we have our 3/4 inch pine tongue and groove that we've painted with linseed oil paint on the underside. And then finally, on top of that, we do have a conventional membrane that was recommended by the roofers. That's the surface that was prepped before the roofers arrived. And as you can see, our standing seam metal roof has been installed. If you remember, before this was covered, that's our bay where our roof vents into. And then we also have the vent along the top in between each bay that runs along the masonry of the row house, the original row house. For our metal roof, I believe this is a 24 gauge. Really, the thicker the better for most cases. And this was pre-applied to be a matte black color. For most residential metal roofs, you get to pick between available colors, and it comes pre-coated. We will be able to maintain this if we need to with the linseed oil paint, depending on your area. I wanted to show you these great samples from our friends at Fitzgerald Heavy Timber in Maryland. This is a beautiful example. This is 16-ounce copper roofing, double locking standing seam. They'll actually come out and create this off a big roll of copper on site. This is a 26 gauge galvanized. So you might have some, a variety of options in your area, but we love a metal roof. We think it's worth the additional expense. It does need to be installed correctly, it needs to be vented correctly, and you obviously want to create a good system for it to be installed upon. A great place where we're able to avoid petrochemical-based products is that the roofers generally use a caulk product when they install their flashing. So after they cut in the riglet, install the counter flashing into the masonry wall, we were able to request, hey, don't do that, and actually kind of go back in once they were done with the Limeworks ecological mortar. The masonry wall has been treated already with the Limeworks lime mortar, and so we were able to replace that modern caulk product that can often fail based on UV exposure and kind of crumble away, and use that mortar product instead that will last a lot longer and hold up better over time. I quickly want to point out, I think, a small design success that we're kind of proud of. This is the soffit, right, that the roof vents into. So it was a decent sized space, lots of airflow, and we weren't exactly sure how we would tackle this. There are, of course, plenty of conventional cheap aluminum or plastic soffit vents out there, but we really wanted something sharp, beautiful, and also functional. So this is actually a retrofitted copper gutter guard for a half-round gutter, and it fit perfectly between our tongue and groove here. And I just think when you see the copper, the oiled, red oak, there's some inherent beauty of using these quality materials together, and there's always sort of this sense of success when you retrofit something successfully. It's going to work well, it looks really good, and I don't think we really could have found a better solution for this specific design, and that feels pretty awesome. I want to bring you inside to review some design factors that are coming into play now at this point in the build. And when we did the framing, we actually used a 2x6 under here, and we cut it at an angle, so the sill has a natural angle to it. We've installed a custom copper sill pan that is now sitting at an angle. And we've got our natural tar paper that's wrapping around, sitting inside our sill pan. And we've got our copper mesh here. This is going to be our bug screen material for our vented siding or our rain screen design. If we move above here, you can see our custom flashing above our window opening and the copper mesh that will be our bug screen for our vented rain screen. We were lucky enough to have a friend with a metal brake, so we have a brake on site, and that allows us to create this copper flashing as we need it. Rocco, my partner, is really incredible at creating this copper flashing design. I can't give him enough credit. It's amazing what he's been able to do, and it gives the project a little something special. That we can make these design choices as we go along, and they're going to work really well. Flashing is something that I talk about a fair amount with my customers. In the US, often flashing design is not that great. You don't see it that often, and definitely underutilized. So you'll see a lot of beautiful copper flashing on this project, and hopefully you'll find it inspirational, and you can see ways of using flashing or flashing design in your own projects. As you know, we are very material conscious, and we're trying to use metal, we're trying to use wood, we're trying to use these more sustainable materials, or materials that have a much longer lifespan than a lot of modern petrochemical-based materials and plastics. And so you'll see we're very conscious about trying to make these decisions, not only out of sort of our preference, our personal preferences, but also, functionality. We want to make design decisions and use materials that last for a long time. And that's really sort of the bedrock of this project.